Good evening. I'm Byron Scott with a CTV News update. Well, County Council has passed legislation that could make it easier for people to age in place at home. CB 70 establishes a work group that will look into universal design standards for new construction in the county. Under the measure, at least 50% of new housing except townhomes must conform to whatever standards are finally adopted. That could include entries without steps and a bathroom on the first floor.
The work group for the Universal Design Bill will give us an opportunity to kind of iron out all the details to make sure that what we intend actually happens, and happens in a way that makes sense for the builders, makes sense for the developers, but also makes sense for the people. So there are just a lot of details that need to come together, and it was too much to all put in one bill.
The work group will have a year to present council with its recommendations. In other council action, lawmakers passing a measure that effectively changes the definition of a tobacco store. Supporters of the measure say 25% of what's sold at many convenience stores and gas stations are tobacco products, making them essentially tobacco stores. CB 31 changes that.
They're really tobacco stores, and because they could fall under that, because they could only do 25% of their store could be tobacco products. So we're changing that to 5%. So if you sell more than 5% of tobacco stores, no matter what you call yourself, you have to follow the rules and regulations of tobacco stores. No longer should we see these establishments showing up in strip malls. They should only be in industrial zones, because we already passed that legislation that said if you're a tobacco store, you have to move into industrial zones. So the next phase is enforcement.
The ordinance goes into effect in September. One person is dead, another injured after a collision last night up in Marlboro. The crash involved a Cadillac SUV and a Chrysler 300. It happened at around 9:30 around Largo Road and Eaton Drive. According to police, the Cadillac had the right-of-way when the Chrysler attempted to cross the road and was struck by the Cadillac. Now, the passenger of the Chrysler was pronounced dead. The driver was taken to a nearby hospital. And a car crashes into a Bouyer home, causing major damage to the structure. It happened on the 12,800 block of Bellhurst Lane just after 4 o'clock yesterday. The driver of the vehicle was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. No one was home at the time of the incident. The home has been condemned until inspectors can confirm it's safe to live in. No word as to what caused that particular accident. Well, the Montgomery County Council passes the rent stabilization bill. The new law will cap rent increases to 3% plus inflation, which will max out at 6%. The measure affects about 400,000 renters who make up nearly 40% of the total population in Montgomery County. The compromise bill, which is similar to Prince George's measure, also limits the amount a landlord can increase fees.
Those random fees that landlords were giving to people, that's also part of the protections that were given. And Montgomery County is pretty unique in the sense that in Prince George's County, for example, that law that they passed, it's only for a year, okay? In DC, they updated their law with a cap at 6, just like in Montgomery County, but their law is only for 2 years. In Montgomery County, this is permanent. There's no sunset. It was very balanced. Making sure that we're protecting tenants, but also making sure that we're protecting landlords, and that we continue to have developers coming into Montgomery County and invest in Montgomery County to build more housing, which is critically needed.
The measure takes effect next April. Well, federal officials say Maryland's paratransit system is out of compliance with the ADA. An investigation found concerns with the timely pickup and drop-off of riders, as well as long call center waits with the state's Mobility Link service. Maryland Matters is reporting that the U.S. Attorney's Office notified the Maryland Transit Administration that it's in violation of federal law. The Department of Justice could file a federal lawsuit against the system. And police are investigating a fatal shooting in Forestville. It happened just before 3 this afternoon in front of a Starbucks on the 3400 block of Donnell Drive. No information yet as to how many were involved or a motive. We'll update this story as information develops. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Byron Scott. Coming up, the new school year is coming sooner than you think, and the county is looking for bus drivers up for the challenge. We'll have more details in just a bit. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Carson Kressley. Of all the resources in the world, kindness is the most precious. For more than 140 years, American Humane has been working to protect animals in disasters, on farms, on the silver screen, and in zoos and aquariums, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. You can help too by making humane choices every day. Visit AmericanHumane.org for simple ways to build a more caring and compassionate world for all of us.
A fire resulted in thousands of Pepco customers in the county losing power last night, and officials say some residents won't see their lights back on until later this evening. The utility company says a fire happened at the Crane Highway substation up in Waldboro just after 4 p.m., the blaze causing 15,000 power outages across the county. The areas impacted include Upper Marlboro, Largo, and Kettering. Officials say all customers should have power restored by 9 o'clock tonight. Well, WSSC Water detects high concentrations of blue-green algae at the Tridelphia Reservoir. The reservoir is used as a recreational area for hiking, fishing, and boating. Visitors to the area should avoid contact with the water and not allow pets to swim or drink in the water, and they say officials wash thoroughly any fish that you may catch. Maryland will soon receive more than $600,000 in federal funding to help control the spread of wildlife diseases. State officials will initially focus on the highly contagious avian influenza. That flu spread among several Delmarva poultry farms last year, leading to the slaughter and disposal of hundreds of thousands of chickens. The funds will be used to study animal species that aimed at improving future responses to outbreaks.
When we get positives, we can let the agricultural community know, hey, this is out here in wild birds. It's time to ramp up your biosecurity. And what that means is for farmers is to control access to the farm, make sure that, their employees that are entering the poultry houses are clean, that they haven't been in contact with any wild waterfowl, reducing the number of wild waterfowl that may be, on or around those poultry houses on the farm, using proper PPE, washing, your hands, your boots, all that sort of stuff to make sure that you're not carrying the virus into the poultry house.
And the funds come from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. We now know the name of the pedestrian fatally struck in the Seat Pleasant area earlier this week. The victim has been ID'd as 19-year-old Sierra Graham of the district. It happened at the intersection of Central Avenue and Gentry Lane Monday morning. Investigators say an SUV traveling east on Central Avenue struck Graham on the roadway. The driver remained on the scene. And the Count Prince George's School District says it needs new bus drivers for the upcoming academic year. The district hosted a driver hiring event today in Clinton. Officials say they need to hire about 135 school bus drivers for next year. Anyone who is hired will be required to take classroom and behind-the-wheel training.
We are trying to find first school bus experience. If we can recruit anyone that has school bus experience, that's important because they will have the skills that we need. Because it takes a lot of skills to be a school bus driver. So that's our main goal first. And if not, we will take anyone and we can have them trained also. And we pay up to 6 weeks of training.
And officials say they plan to host more school bus driver job fairs in the coming weeks. And you're watching CTV News. Coming up, Simon Buggs with your Wednesday sports page. Stay with us.
Hey sports fans, and coming up, the Baltimore Orioles and Washington Nationals signed their MLB draft picks. Stay right there.
One more time before you wake up in the wild.
Our natural world needs us now. Step by step, side by side, together, we can find a way to ensure that all life on Earth can thrive. To learn more about how you can help protect and conserve nature, visit nature.org.
Welcome back. A popular international horse show is returning to Prince George's this fall. The 65th annual Washington International Horse Show will again take place at the Showplace Arena this October. Officials say the event brought in close to $10 million to the county last year, and more than 15,000 visitors attended the show. The Washington International Horse Show kicks off October 23rd and goes through the 29th. And next week, be sure to tune in to CTV to catch the Autumn Joy live show. Special guests include R&B singer Cherise Reese and Grammy-nominated artist Raheem DeVaughn. Autumn Joy speaks with both about their music careers and more.
Unstoppable is the title track to the album that's going to be released in May of 2024. It just speaks to my experience of pushing past my own idiosyncrasies or just thinking of these woulda, shoulda, couldas, meaning that I transferred from here to LA in July of 2021 to go.
Keeping things in-house and making sure I do my due diligence of like putting my people on and people like giving them a solid shot at, you know, I'm in a stage of like making people's dreams come true.
There will also be a performance by Reese. Tune in next week, Thursday, July 27th at 8 p.m. right here at CTV.
What's going on, everyone? It's time for your Wednesday Sports Page. Former Vanderbilt University outfielder Enrique Bradfield Jr. officially became a part of the Orioles family as the team signed him to a deal worth over $4 million. Bradfield was selected by the Birds at number 17 in this year's MLB draft. Bradfield's introductory press conference was held yesterday, and the first-round pick reflected on his Commodores career and how he's grown.
I think I improved in every aspect. Just defensively, the consistency I was able to grow. Being there for 3 years, base running. I was timid in high school as a base runner and kind of brought out a different side. I had the speed, but I didn't have the aggressiveness. I didn't have the confidence, and that was something that really grew every day. And just my experience from playing in that conference, there's no nights off. It's every day is a new challenge, and it doesn't matter who you're facing. So I think I was just able to grow as a person too.
As Bradfield mentioned, during his career at Vanderbilt, he was able to grow defensively. And that was evident as he made the All-SEC defensive team twice. And now Bradfield is looking to improve his skills on the offensive end.
I think everybody knows it's probably my offensive game, putting together more consistency in that aspect, but I'm taking steps every day to get to where I need to be, and being a part of this organization, having the right coaches, the mentors to be able to guide me in the right direction is going to be really fun, and I think I'm going to be able to do it rather quite quick.
Switching to the Washington Nationals, their second-round pick, Yohandy Morales, inked a deal with the team worth $2.6 million. Morales played well for the University of Miami as he is fourth all-time in the program's history with 49 home runs. He was also a Golden Spikes Award semifinalist, which is an award given out to the best amateur baseball player in the country. And hopefully these two prospects can have a major impact on their teams. And that is your Wednesday Sports Page. Simon Buggs, CTV Sports.
Thank you, Simon. And now our 3-day weather forecast tonight: partly cloudy with a low near 71. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, possible showers with a high around 88. Friday, more thunderstorms possible with a high near 90. And Saturday, mostly sunny with a high around 87. And now for the community calendar, join the tribute at Melford Senior Community for their summer concert festival, the Jazz Series. The headliners include Henry on Vides, Yvonne Johnson, Bonnie Jazz, and LaRon Young. The last two events are Sunday, July 22nd and 29th from 1:30 to 3 p.m. They'll be held at the Fox Hill Cafe tribute at Melford. And that's our news tonight. I'm Byron Scott. See you tomorrow night. Good night.
Shriners Hospitals for Children is awesome.
Wow, I was a really cute kid. But it's true, Shriners Hospitals for Children is awesome. The first time I went to Shriners Hospitals for Children, I was 2 months old. Since then, they have helped me with over 18 operations and thousands of rehabilitation hours. Because of their care, now I live a full, independent life. I got my driver's license, and I'm going to college.
It's amazing to know that there's someone looking out for me and my family.
And it isn't just the doctors and nurses who have been looking out for me. It was you.
Thank you!
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's keep this amazing story going. All you have to do is go to loveshriners.org, and you'll be a part of something special too. Thank you so much.